Wow. Hello friends. This year, it is my goal to make more than I buy, not only for myself and clothing, but also for home goods like pillows, blankets, curtains, dish rags, pretty much anything that I feel like I could make. I want to learn how to. I have been sewing for a fairly long time. My mom started teaching me when I was around 7 years old. So I have always had the basic skills of knowing how to sew. I know how to sew garments. I technically know how to do it. However, I have never been an avid seamstress, and it's my goal to change that. I not only want to sew through my stash of fabrics I have from the thrift store and from vintage stores, but I also want to do more crocheting. I want to learn how to knit this year. I want to do more personalization of the clothes I already have, so adding embroidery, changing out buttons, things like that, mending if they need mending, all of that. I would just like to stop buying as much and start making and also thrifting more. My goal this year, if I want to make something, is to first look through my sewing stash, see if I have an appropriate fabric and all of the things that I need. If I don't, I then want to go to the thrift store and see if I can find the appropriate fabric and notions there. Most of my sewing stash is from the thrift store. You can absolutely thrift pretty much anything and everything that you need. Literally almost every fabric that I have ever used for any of my sewing projects as a plus size person has been thrifted. So it is absolutely possible, but you have to get creative, and that is what I'm here to do. But overall, it is just my goal to make more this year, especially with the economy being what it is. Hello. It's getting harder to afford things. I would really like to hone in on the skills of making, foraging, growing, thrifting, all of those good things before I buy new or even thrift, to be honest. I would like to learn how to make and utilize what I already have before I go out and buy anything. So this video is sponsored by Cashmere, who is a indie pattern company for curvier women, and I will talk about them more later, but I wanted to let you know up front that the pattern I'm going to get started on is from Cashmere Club. I hope you enjoy this, and let's get into it. My goal to make more than I buy this year is multifaceted. I've been thinking a lot lately about how many skills have become lost as it gets easier and easier to order things to our doors with the click of a button, and how most of what we buy has a built-in expiration date. It's meant to break and not last for years. And in the fast-paced, go-go-go lifestyle society pushes, we are losing the ability to value what we own and appreciate it for the art that went into making it. Because most of the time, there is no art in making it. So like I said, this video is sponsored by Cashmere, and I wanted to tell you a little bit more about them because I'm very, very excited to have found this company, and I am very excited that they're working with me, especially given that my goal is to make more than I buy this year. Cashmere is a company dedicated to empowering sewists with curves and providing them with patterns that fit beautifully. They provide sizes from 0 to 32 and cup sizes C to H, which is amazing. As someone who has always struggled with standard as someone who has always struggled with standard pattern sizing, and especially anything that buttons up the front, I always have gaping. I always have to make adjustments, and Cashmere is right there with patterns that are going to fit with the least amount of effort, to be honest. I especially wanted to try the Haskell shirt first for this reason, because I find it really hard to find tops that button properly and also just fit nicely. If you join at the all access level, you get access to the nearly 50 patterns that they have released, as well as the entire library of sewing and fitting classes. It's over 60 hours of video footage, which again is why I am so excited that they're working with me on this, because I have so many people asking me where they should go to learn how to sew, where they should go to learn how to fit things better, where they should go for curvy girl patterns. Cashmerette Club has all of it. And alongside that, there is a community of over 5,000 sewists from all over the world. They also have a fit calculator so that you can find your perfect fit, as well as they will answer any questions that you might have. And if the club isn't for you, if you don't want to subscribe, they do also offer individual patterns for sale. If you would like to try Cashmerette Club out for yourself, you can get $10 off of your first year of subscription with my code LOVE10, and follow the link down below to check out all of the patterns and everything they have to offer. And thank you so much to Cashmerette for sponsoring this video. I'm gonna get into sewing this top, and I'm really excited. I've not been this excited about a project in a while, so let's get into it. I am not going to give anyone a lecture on the questionable ethics of fast fashion or fast delivery shopping, of cheaply made items or haul culture, because I have been on all sides of the purchaser coin. I've been excited to buy new. I've been in a place where I couldn't afford anything else, and I couldn't even afford the supplies to make what I wanted to make. I've gotten hauls. I've attempted to be more sustainable and buy small business and buy ethically made garments. What I really want to talk about is how my make more and buy less goals are closely tied to my hope to slow down and be more intentional with my time, money, and efforts this year. Somewhere in my own journey to becoming more sustainable and finding better ways to shop, I forgot how exciting it is to learn new things and make what I want with my own hands. I somehow stopped practicing so many of the skills that I value and enjoy. Sewing, embroidery, crochet, painting, collaging, crafting, card making. The list is endless. So this year I want to practice the art of slowing down and practicing skills again. It's a simple and funny thing to say, but I sort of forgot how exciting it was to puzzle over a craft or pattern and finally figure out how to perfect that skill. Making the Haskell blouse from Cashmerette proved to be the perfect entry project into my year of making more, because it's easy enough to understand and put together, but I still learned some new skills while sewing, and I value that. Like me, you are neurodivergent and have the tendency to jump into big projects with both feet, I want to take this moment to remind you to pick something smaller, something that utilizes some skills you already have and introduces you to new concepts slowly, something that won't overwhelm you after the first day of trying because it was too much too soon. Take a moment to slow down and consider what skills you already know that you could build upon. For me, this obviously is sewing because I've always known how to sew, but I've never been consistent enough with sewing to actually do it well. Or rather, to do it as professionally as someone with 30 years of sewing experience should do. Something else that I've considered to be a skill I am growing and I grew through the entirety of last year was reading books every day. It's a skill because you have to practice the art of being present, and as someone with ADHD, getting your brain to slow down and focus can be a challenge. But throughout the last year, the more I practiced choosing a book instead of scrolling my phone, using my Kindle instead of an app I could hop out of every 30 seconds to check social media, reaching for physical books instead of watching TV, or listening to audiobooks instead of mindlessly scrolling YouTube, I read 47 books and only missed 20 days total the entire year of reading. Okay, my friends, I have had a little bit of a mental block at the moment, creatively, for this project. I also only have about 10 minutes before everyone gets home for the day, and I'm also feeling really odd not acknowledging what is happening within the US as I make this content that is very escapist. And I know that so many of you come to my channel to escape and to feel safe and to get away from the heaviness of the world, and I hope to continue to do that. I think it's really important that I do say that no matter your race or your gender or your sexuality or your faith or your beliefs or your religion or where you have come from or how you are here or anything, no matter what, I strongly believe in fighting for your right to have your needs met and to live a wholly wonderful life, because we are all just human. And the faith that I grew up in followed a person who preached love and kindness and justice and treating the oppressed well and taking care of children and widows and orphans and people in need. And that is what I aspire towards, especially with everything that is going on. And the news is hard and it is heavy and it is affecting all of us, and the economy is hard and it is awful and it is affecting all of us. And I'm sure my speaking out has lost me followers, and I know this. But I don't want to be on the side of history that's looked back on in 100 years and everyone asks, well, how could they never have even spoken up? I hit the crossroads the other day of realizing that I'm feeling a mental block creatively because I haven't really said anything, because I've been afraid for my income and I've been unsure how brands will respond, and it's sat wrong with me. And I think that my opinion is fairly mild and a kind one to have, but there are still people who won't like it. And I think, much like I have realized with my books, that it's okay to let the main character be unlikable sometimes. I would rather be disliked by the people who would take offense to what I've said than continue to be ambiguous, and the people who I care about don't know if they're safe with me. So it would help if you could share this with anyone who's looking for an escape and a channel that is safe for them to consume and that they know without a shadow of a doubt where I stand. It would help so much. But at the end of the day, I care very deeply about people. And that's all I'm going to say on it, because I know there are people who want to remain escapist, and I can respect that because I also want to remain escapist, but I have to say something. So for now, I'm going to get back into this project tomorrow. I will show you the buttons that I've been thinking about using, and I hope that whoever you are, you know I care. Oh, those are cute. Okay, so yesterday I posted to my members because I could not decide on what buttons I wanted to use. Get them out of the crinkly bag, Kristina. And I said whatever was voted for is what I would use. And I'm very happy to report that actually the buttons that I ended up like kind of really hoping people would choose is the ones that won. The third place, which honestly I agree with, was these really pretty green buttons. The second runner-up with 9 votes was these ones, which again are super pretty. These match the color of the fabric really, really well. Like those go so well. But the winner with 11 votes was my favorite buttons, which are these little flowery buttons, which I think are going to be perfect. But it also brought up a really good point for me because I need to learn not to do crinkly things while I'm talking. And it brought up a really good point inadvertently. One of you said that you would personally not use these for this kind of project and would save them for something a little more special. And please don't take this personally. This just kind of brought up this thought for me because some people would see a top. This is a very basic top and say, I don't want to waste my special buttons on a really basic top. But something that I have been trying to work through, especially as I sew through my stash, and I'm going to get into a lot of fabrics that I think are so beautiful and so special, is not saving the special buttons, the special fabric, the special lace, the special whatever, the special dress, the special outfit, the special tea, the special teacup, the beautiful china, the whatever it is, in whatever realm, whether it is creativity or home decor or using the fancy dishes every day. I am working to get over the idea that I need to save the special things for a special day or a special project. This is not necessarily a very special project, but using my favorite buttons on it is going to make it that much more personal to me and that much more beautiful, and I will like it that much more. And the thing about buttons is, if I decide in the future that I regret using these buttons on this shirt, I can literally just pop them off and use them for a different project. I want to make a point here not to save the special things and to use the special things, because you only have one life. You are only one person. Your existence, time will move on. Time will move on, and someday, somewhere in the future, you might look back and say, why did I never use those beautiful plates? Why are they just sitting in my cabinet gathering dust? Why did I never make a garment and put special buttons on it so that it's a little bit more special to me? Why did I postpone my joy for an imaginary situation? If you do have an actual project in mind that feels special to you, make it right now. Don't wait. Don't hold on to things. Make it now. And I am working hard on just using what I have and being okay with sewing with fabric that I've literally been saving in my stash for literal years because I didn't know what I wanted to make with it. And I was afraid to cut into it because it's so pretty. I've had this for years. I've never made anything out of it. And I might never have if I didn't start sewing this project. Despite my desire to buy nothing and work through my stash, I did end up having to buy thread and some fusible interfacing for this project, and both are things that I really needed. I have a fairly large stash of thrifted threads, but the thing about thrifted thread is that you have to check and ensure that it is still a sturdy thread and it's not rotting. If you do want to purely thrift your notions, you can very easily check whether thread is going to hold up for you by tugging on it firmly and seeing how easy it is to break.
Most of the thread that I have in my stash is vintage, and I generally have only kept it because they are on wooden bobbins. So I had to buy new thread, and then the fusible interfacing is something I had to order overnight in order to finish the project and stay on time for working with Cashmere. It's not the ideal situation, but I wanted to be honest with that because I want you all to understand that make more and buy less is not by any means a perfect scheme. And I don't think in general that any of us can live a perfectly sustainable, buy nothing, buy less life. It's not about living perfectly. It's not about never breaking the rules. Whenever I see talks about sustainable living, nobody ever really talks about the reality of it. And the reality is that it's not going to be perfect. There will always be things that you cannot do. For example, we use a lot of paper towels as a large family with many messes and kids who are in that stage of spilling everything all of the time. And honestly, a parent whose energy level does not match the amount of laundry that needs to be done. We use paper towels, we use paper dishes, and life is imperfect like that. Tell you what you can and cannot do, and I'm not here to say that I'm doing everything perfectly. In point of fact, I'm doing everything very imperfectly, but I'm doing my best with the energy that I have, the resources that I have, and the money that I have, and that's all I can really aspire to do. In this last leg of sewing the blouse, I ended up turning off the camera because I was learning the new skills that I had never done before, and I get a little bit flustered trying to think about filming while I'm learning something really new. So I think I will leave you here and we will get into the reveal just as soon as I have finished the buttons and ironing everything out and finishing up the inside seams.
Well, that is the shirt. I'm really happy with this. And I'm really happy that I made this my first project of the year. It's good to start out on a very positive note because I'm sure I will run into projects where they're harder or I don't do them the way that I wanted to. That is just part of sewing your own garments, is being okay with mistakes, but I think this is probably the best thing I've ever made. It's the most professionally finished thing I've ever made. I will be super honest, I did not do the called for top stitching, and I did not do the hem the way that they told me to do it in the pattern, because I wanted the shirt to be a little bit shorter than the pattern and I forgot to shorten it. So I just did a rolled hem, which worked fine. It was a little bit more tricky because the sides of the shirt are curved. But I knew that I would be most likely wearing this kind of tied up, like 50s style. I'm really, really happy with how it came out. I'm like really happy with the prints matching. I was so careful with the buttons to ensure that I would have a good, you know, all the lines would meet properly. There were a few techniques in this pattern that I have never come across before. In order to finish the inside of the shirt, you actually connect the inner yoke to the back yoke, this part right here. And so you have to roll up the entire shirt and meet the two pieces of fabric to each other, and like the whole thing just broke my brain for a second. So I learned a new technique. It blew my mind. The inner side is really nicely finished. I think that's something that I really appreciated about this pattern, is that the finishing is not super complex. It was actually really simple. The cuffs were the same way. The way that they have you finish the cuffs makes it so that they're nice and finished on the inside. I did not do the top stitching, the last step of top stitching, because I'm not a huge fan of top stitching. I know that it helps garments lay nicer and it looks neater, but other than the collar and the cuffs, I decided not to do the top stitching around the rest of it, just because I don't particularly love the way that looks. It's a personal preference. As far as fit, this fits so nicely. This is very, very reminiscent of a 1950s dolman sleeve top, but it looks better on me. It looks so much better. It fits so nice. I really like having it back a little. It feels like a relaxed kind of vintage Hollywood on your day off vibe. And the only thing that I didn't think about when I was checking the fit was the fact that it is tight on my stomach. This is something I come across all the time. My top half and my bottom half are two different sizes. So I didn't really think about the circumference around right where my belly is, where the shirt lays. But I'm not mad about it because I will be wearing this tied up. That was the whole purpose of making this top, is because I miss wearing my shirts like that. I always tuck in my tops or I tie them up, and I wear high-waisted pants, so like I don't care. But it does fit. It does fit. It's just snug. It doesn't flow loosely over the bottom half of me, which is perfectly fine by me. But that is just a mental note that I have to make for myself, is to check the circumference of the hem against the circumference of my belly, because they don't always match up. Otherwise, the fit is phenomenal. This is the best shirt I've ever made. It was also the easiest assembly that I've ever done, other than blowing my mind with attaching the inside yoke to the outside yoke so that it's nicely finished. There are no like itchy seams anywhere inside the shirt. Anyway, I am definitely going to be making more of these tops. I'm also really happy that I used this fabric. This is a fabric I've been holding on to because I think it's so beautiful. I love plaid. I think the colors are perfection. And I was afraid to sew with it because I didn't want to like waste it on a garment that I wasn't gonna wear. I've had a couple of poorly fitting, and I mean, to be honest, poorly made on my part, garment makes in the last few years, and I was really afraid to cut into this because I didn't want it to be a bad garment that I was not going to be comfortable in. But quite the opposite. I never want to take this off. It's so beautiful. I'm also really, really glad that everyone voted for these flower buttons. These are the nicest buttonholes I've ever done as well. I cannot gush enough over this top. I'm so happy with it. This is the year of using the nice buttons and the pretty fabric and the beautiful dishes and wearing the pretty dress and just using the things that you love and not saving them for a special occasion, because we are only living one life. Make the garment with the fabric that you love. It's gonna be okay. I love it so much. I just keep looking at myself in the viewfinder because It's perfect. It's so perfect. Thank you so much to Cashmerette for sponsoring this video. Don't forget that you can utilize my code LOVE10 for $10 off of your yearly all access membership. I 100% would say if you're going to invest in yourself and making things this year, this is a great investment. You will be getting so many patterns, you get all of the classwork, you get lots of help if you have sewing questions, you get a community of curvy sewists. Like, it's perfect. But that is it, my friends. I hope you will go forth and be a little bit braver in sewing like I am trying to do this year. I know that I'm going to be sharing a lot more sewing projects because I already have another project in mind. As always, I hope that wherever you are feeling safe and loved, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! I'm gonna keep doing this. I don't care if it's cringy. Okay, bye.